This is HR with Hidden Ranger Streaming, and I've got another reaction video for you. This is the newly released Titans trailer. It's the trailer for the Titans TV show that's coming on DC's streaming device. And yeah, it's been a topic of conversation throughout the interwebs, like Facebook, Twitter. There's been a lot of talk about that, and I'm hearing some not great things about this, and so I kind of have an idea what to expect, but I do want to experience this for myself. I want to see what the heck is going on with this here trailer, and I've been kind of curious about the Titans TV show as it's been in development and as there have been set photos. So that's curious, and I've been cautiously optimistic, but now let's see what this looks like in motion, and let's see if this will actually sell me on what's going on, because, the things I've been hearing about it, well, seems like it's going to be a dark and gritty take on this, and, well, we'll see. Oh, TVMA. Oh, there's Raven. Starring an American Horror Story. Flying raisins.
Everything led me here. To you. You're the boy from the circus.
You got no place to hide. And I'm feeling like a villain, got a hunger inside. Nowhere to hide from all of this.
Please. Can you help me?
Madness, madness.
Where's Batman? Fuck Batman.
There's something evil inside of me.
You're scared, I get it, but you can control it. You don't know what I've become.
Sometimes, when I feel the darkness, it feels good. My mom says there's no such thing as monsters.
I used to think that. I was wrong.
Madness, madness.
Daddy, I'm scared. This, wow. Okay, so apparently the comments on the interwebs have been where they were not misleading. This was exactly as dark and angsty and gritty and gory and bloody and profanity laden as they said it was. Wow. I like Teen Titans. I like Dick Grayson as Robin. Well, I like all the Robins, including Stephanie Brown. Damien's appeal comes and goes, but I like, most people's view of the Teen Titans is the early 2000s animated series, which, was certainly a take on it that was wildly different from the comics. It's basically most people's vision of the Teen Titans in the same way the 90s X-Men cartoon is most people's idea of what the X-Men's like. And This is not that. This, I, I have to say, guys, I was vastly uncomfortable while watching this. Like, I don't want to be this vastly uncomfortable while watching something that's, based on Teen Titans. And, well, you know, to be fair, it's not called Teen Titans, it's called Titans. So, I guess they're wanting the the young adult drama, and B, the idea that these characters can like age into, young adult roles, or they can be played by people who are, way past teenagers. Although I will say the Raven actress really did look like she was a teenager rather than some 20 something who was passing herself off as a teenager. Maybe the actress is an adult, who knows. But like, the the actor playing Garfield, Beast Boy, like probably an adult or very late teens. Yeah, actor playing Dick Grayson. He could still be a teenager. It's hard to tell, but yeah, one of the things that set the Teen Titans apart from basically any other team of heroes back when it was first created in the '60s, um, was that it was a group of sidekicks who were operating without adult supervision. It was what they were like when their adult mentors weren't around, and when they weren't playing second fiddle to their adult mentors. Like, it had Dick Grayson, Robin. It had Roy Harper, who at the time was Speedy. It had Wally West, aka Kid Flash. It had Garth, and I don't know if he ever had a last name, but he was Aqualad. And it had Donna Troy, aka Wonder Girl. They were all sidekicks, and in fact, Wonder Girl was created for the series in a tidbit of in a bit of a weird continuity mistake, in that there were Wonder Woman comics in which Wonder Woman was teaming up with an infant version of herself called Wonder Tot, and a teenage version of herself called Wonder Girl. It was both of those versions were were Wonder Woman at different, or Diana Prince, or I guess just Diana, at different points in her childhood. So there would be Wonder Woman, Wonder Girl, and Wonder Tot, and like the writer of Teen Titans, when he was first getting that off the ground, Bob Haney, apparently was searching through the DC universe, the you know as it existed with very loose continuity anyway, and he looked at those issues of Wonder Woman, and we're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna use the Wonder Girl character, apparently thinking that Wonder Girl was Wonder Woman's sidekick. Yeah, and just kind of rolling with that, and then later later writers were like, okay, hold on, but who is this Wonder Woman? Who is this Wonder Girl exactly? Because she doesn't have a point of origin. And then when they tried to give her points of origin, then continuity snarl. But anyway, so the important thing about that was that those characters were operating without adult supervision, but they were doing teenagery things. They were like, doing some nominal superhero things, but they were like, they were like going to dances. They were listening to music. They were adopting a very uh, they were adopting heavy slang, which could arguably only exist in the mind of a you know uh, adult comic book writer who's trying to think like a teenager. So, but it was fun, and later on, there were more additions to the Teen Titans, and later there was an overhaul of the group, which basically became which basically gave us the roster that was seen in the 2000s animated series. It had returning was Robin, but then um, there's also Raven, Beast Boy, Cyborg, and yeah, they were the. Am I forgetting anybody? They were um, yeah, they were operating. Oh, sorry, I'm dropping something. Anyway, so yeah, it was in the Teen Titans comics. In that point in the '80s, writer Marv Wolfman and artist George Perez was base. They basically had Dick Grayson grow up to become Robin, and so now, or I'm sorry, they had Dick Grayson retire his Robin identity and become Nightwing. So, so yeah, there were a lot more, kind of adult things being dealt with, and a lot of, there's more maturity in the storytelling, and honestly, some of the worst things that have happened to characters in comics have kind of happened to teenage characters, and in particular the Teen Titans. It's a weird, odd history, but I guess, but like, unless this trailer is drastically misleading, it kind of looks like they're picking up on some of the darkest, angstiest parts, and I guess bloodiest parts of the Teen Titans history, and the DC universe, and saying, let's make a show about that. And I'm just like, could we not? Could we seriously not? I mean, you can have dark elements, you can have angsty elements, you can even have bloody elements, you can even, curse a lot and stuff like that, but have something balancing it out, please. At least, at least, like, at least make us think these characters are having fun in some degree. But, wow. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of what I saw in this trailer. Like, maybe the series will be good. Who knows? But it's just not promising. I don't think I'll like. It'll probably take a lot of positive word of mouth for me to actually give this a shot. Like, it just doesn't seem like I would enjoy watching it. This, yeah, it seems incredibly wrong-headed. And thing is, I'm at least nominally willing to give it some kind of a chance, or at least I have been. In that, like, there were these on the set photos a few months ago that showed the TV show being filmed, and it had outdoor shots of the Teen Titans in a scene taking place, I guess, on a street corner, and one of them, and it had um, Garfield Logan as Beast Boy. It had Starfire and some, and I can't recall if it had Robin or any other characters in there. I honestly can't recall at this point. But yeah, the costumes did look kind of lackluster, particularly Starfire, to the point where it was hard to tell that it was actually Starfire. Just, apparently it kind of looked like um, a black girl with fuchsia sort of hair and a fur coat, and just like a purple dress, and that was basically their attempt at Starfire, and yeah, it generated a lot of feedback of where it was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, fans are saying that they're like not putting any effort into this, but I don't believe that. Like, it takes effort to even get a TV series off the ground, and whether or not like how they're actually portraying stuff like Starfire and the appearances of other characters and the way they handle their powers, that remains to be seen. And it's a kind of thing you really can't accurately judge by watching an exterior shot from across the street by some like eavesdropping camera that's not even part of the crew, and that's nowhere near what the television camera is filming or seeing or set up to record, and certainly not what's being handled in post production and all that. So, and those images were also devoid of context. So, and it's the kind of thing that I've just gotten used to. Every time there's some on the scene photos of something, or some kind of first look at something, fans lose their mind that this is the worst thing ever, and what are they doing, and how dare they? And then I'm just like, okay. And then you say these things for movies or TV shows or whatever that end up being perfectly fine, or even awesome. You're just kind of jumping ahead to judge that. And so on one hand, I kind of don't want to really be judgmental, but at the same time, like, this is a trailer. This is what they want us to think this series is. Even if they're trying to be misleading, um, trailers to superhero movies, even if they do things that, even if they portray in a trailer something that looks different from, that has tells a different story or has a different feel from what's actually in the movie, they're at least trying to get across, some aspect of the movie, and they're at least trying to get butts in seats, trying to get us to be like, okay, yeah, I'll watch that. This, like, um, I'm sure I'm sure there are DC fans and comic book fans and stuff like that who will like this show and who will tune in and who will enjoy this version of the Teen Titans. Again, I don't know that I'm one of them. Like, you know, I've gotten to the point where, I'm 39. I'm not a teenager. I'm not, I'm not angsty, or rather, the angsty parts that are still rattling around in my head have nothing to do with how violent superheroes are or should be. Like, and yeah, this seems like it's like, in terms of like violence and blood, it's kind of similar to like the Netflix Daredevil series, which works for Daredevil because he's in Hell's Kitchen and he fights some really vicious criminal element a lot, and the street level gritty realism is kind of, or even hyper realism is baked into the premise. But again, folks, this is Teen Titans. Regardless of whether they put teen in front of the title or not, you know. Yeah, this is I'm really not feeling this, or rather, what I'm feeling is, uh, yeah, I'm sure my expressions while watching this trailer were very, were comical, you know, and I still have this look on my face like, I don't want it, man, I don't want it. But I will say this: we have reached a point in mainstream depictions of comic books, superheroes, etc., that it's okay if you're not the target audience for something, because there's so much else you can be the there's so much else you can tune into. There's so much else you can be the audience for. Like there's more superhero media than we'll ever have time for. Even if we binge watch every last thing, like you like we're in a position to pick and choose things. Even we're even in a position to pick and choose amongst things that are each in their own way varying levels of quality. We can pick amongst good things, rather than being like, well, this is a really crappy remake or interpretation, like, but this is all we have. It's not the 80s, 90s, or before. Like we have an embarrassment of riches. It's just a matter of what each of us considers to be rich. You know, and there seemed like there were things to like in this, such as I did kind of like the somewhat. I kind of like some of the way things looked. Like I had no problem with the way, say, Beast Boy looked. Sure, he wasn't fully green, fuzzy, and all that. He's just ended up being a dude in red hair with like green hair and a jacket. But that seemed fine to me. Robin's costume seemed fine to me. Dove's costume seemed fine to me. Um, although I have to say, some of the hardest cringing I was doing during this trailer was when she was like cutting people open with her wings. And okay, Dove as a character, as a concept, was a Steve Ditko character, from the late Steve Ditko, rest in peace. And the point was that Dove was the peaceful one who didn't want to engage in violence and murder and etc. And Hawk was the one who was more warlike and who had no problem with that. And then those two, basically disagreed, and that conflict was kind of the driving force behind the comic. And so it's hopefully that should give you an indication of why I'm uncomfortable watching Dove cut people open with blades in her wings. Like, seeing a Hawk do it, great. Okay, that seems like something he would do. Seeing Hawkman do that, okay, he just have to install razor blades in his wings. Seeing Archangel from Marvel do it, well, yeah, he has his wings are razor blades. You know, seeing there are characters with wings where you can be like, oh hey, guess what? These feathers are serrated blades, and they're gonna cut a fool. Great. Dove is not one of those people. Dove shouldn't be one of those people. And man, like if there's like there could even be a fun, lighthearted side of this series, but it feels like I'm probably gonna have to go digging deep into this series to find it. Like, wow. All right. Um, so I have to say I'm disappointed, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be this negative. You know, um, and I'm certainly not the kind of fan who's gonna go like attacking or hating on or or even threatening you know the people making the decisions, the executives or the producers or the directors or the actors. Certainly not the actors at all. I'm not that kind of fan, and I utterly dislike that kind of fan. But yeah, this isn't for me. This is like I like Titans, and this is not like Titans, or this is not something that I want to get out of it. And you know, ironically, when the Titans project, as a TV series, like I think for a while it was like they were talking about not WB, USA Network, I want to say, something like that. Like it was going to be a spin-off series and possibly set in the Berlanti verse with like Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, etc. And currently Supergirl. But and for a while I was really excited about that, mostly because that was one of the first series that that was apparently being bandied about as a spin-off, or as set in the same universe. Like they might have started talking about this before they even started talking about Flash, which should tell you something. But at the time, I was like, cool, please. I want to see awesome Dick Grayson. I want to see awesome Robin / Nightwing. I want to see awesome Beast Boy, Starfire, whoever else you want to put in this show. I want to see them being awesome. This is not what I had in mind. So, but honestly, I hope the series does well. Like, I don't want it to fail, and I don't want it to be bad. And if it turns out it's great, then yeah. So regardless of what I feel about it, I hope this finds its audience. So, this has been HR with Hidden Ranger Streaming, and this has been my lengthy reaction video, because heck, this is probably even longer than, say, some of my reaction videos to like the Avengers Infinity War trailer, because I found myself with a lot of things to say. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, follow me on Twitter at HR Streaming, and I will see you some other time with another reaction video, probably. Bye, guys.